I had breakup sex in the way that someone broke up with me during sex.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Bad Times, Good Stories podcast, the show where each week I talk with a guest about an awkward, embarrassing, or straight up bad time from their life that they're able to laugh about and have hopefully learned from or, have moved on from at the very least. And today I'm really excited to have Ariana Basseri, and she's a comedian, and she talks about how not 48 hours before we did the episode, she experienced true breakup sex in the sense that the guy she was having sex with broke up with her while they were having sex. She makes me laugh a lot. I'm sure it sucked at the moment. I know it did. So we talk about that. We talk about some of the colorful characters that she's dated in the past, the one that still haunts her, and the fact that at this point in her life, if she doesn't see a future of getting married, then really, what's the point? Which makes sense to me. We also talk about her comedy career and how she got into it, the fact that she is a dry cleaning heiress. We talk about that, and her dad moving here from Iran when he was a college student. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed talking with her quite a bit. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you do, don't just leave a 5-star. In the comments, leave the worst breakup experience that has happened to you as a comment. And the best breakup story, I'll be sending them a t-shirt for the show. So leave a comment, whether in the YouTube comments or on Apple Podcasts, explaining your worst breakup, and hey, you might get a t-shirt out of it. So definitely do that, and you can email me at badtimesgoodstoriespodcast@gmail.com. Check out badtimesgoodstoriespod.com for past episodes, merch, and a link to the Patreon page. And now, without further ado, here is my conversation with Ariana.
I bought a Juul just because every guy I was like dating jeweled.
Yeah.
And I just want to have I'm like that. So I
Sure.
had the charger and the pods, and I would it's expensive.
Yeah,
and
that's it is.
Stupid.
Yes.
I dated a guy who jeweled in front of my parents once, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, that's
bad.
just no, you don't need to do that. Just take a break for like an hour.
Seriously.
It's not that hard.
It was like a dinner. Like, you can't wait till we're out of the parking lot.
Do you really need it that badly?
It's just so embarrassing. Even in movie theaters, he'd blow into his sweatshirt.
I now feel better about myself.
We haven't even scratched the surface.
Sure.
Let me tell
Sure.
you.
Sure. No, definitely.
This is nothing.
So, generally when you host a show, you ask how the guest is doing. And I have to say, I am invested in the answer to how are you doing?
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I am doing well. When I canceled on you before, it was, I don't know how else to say it, but I had breakup sex in the way that someone broke up with me during sex last Thursday. And I was supposed to be here Friday morning, and honestly, I just drank a lot. It was every single thing that could have happened. Open for celebrities.
Okay.
The biggest show.
Yeah.
David Spade, Ken Jeong, all of these people.
You were opening for them that night?
Open for them that night.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say this is 8 p.m. Then we're drinking a lot. Now it's 10 p.m.
Raise this up a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Do you want me to move this?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so now it's 10 p.m. I'm drinking a lot. Back to his apartment. I sent you the time difference between my friend being like, oh my God, I love him so much, and me being like, we broke up.
Yeah, it was 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was 30 minutes between these things. I was back to my apartment by 1:30 a.m. and then just slept from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. And then with you, I was just I can't. Because with things like this, it's hard to pull through completely. Yes. So that was exciting.
Oh my God.
It's hard because it was he just tried to define the relationship. And I think I'm turning 30 in October, and I just can't be you're my boyfriend if I don't want to marry you.
Right. No, I understand. I'm 31, and yeah, it's that way. Yeah, you just can't fuck around.
Right. And I also can't lie. This is my problem. I can't lie. I am very expressive and I show how I feel. So if a guy's like, you really don't see a future with us, I have to be like, no, I wish we didn't have to have this conversation inside me.
Who brought it up?
He did. Of course I didn't bring it up.
Sure.
I was having a great time. Like I had like gotten my dream, which was like this guy who really liked me, who like came to my show and was into me.
Yeah.
But I didn't want him to be my boyfriend because I didn't want to marry him. And then I'll never see him again now.
How long had you been dating?
This is the other good point,
Okay.
right? It had been like a month and a half.
Okay.
But not even exclusively. I mean, I think he thinks so.
Okay.
So then I was out with this other guy who I'd also been dating for the last 2 months.
Yeah.
Like both of them were once a week, but neither of them were progressing.
Sure.
And now I feel like that one's going to be over soon. I feel like last week I'm just
Gotta hit the reset button.
I just want to break up with everyone.
Shake the Etch-a-Sketch, start over.
Seriously, I think I'm like back to a clear roster. Like no one. Yes. So that's how I'm fine now. I saw the other one last night and it's just, he says things like, I don't know, how bad is this, like, I could say really dark shit.
Yes. Oh yeah, we've gone dark.
Okay, he'll say things like, one day I'm going to kill you.
Oh, in what context?
Like a funny way.
Oh,
I don't know. And he'll be like, I don't want to kiss you. I just want to fuck you. And I'm like, so really, I don't really have to break up with him. I think that one's just going to
I think he's done it for
on
himself.
its own.
Yeah. Yeah, talking about, marriage potential. I'd say that's top notch there.
Absolutely. I knew that I wasn't going to marry either of them, but it was weird for both of them to just kind of
I don't want to kiss
clearly
you. I just want to fuck you. I think you
Yeah.
should work for Hallmark. I mean, that's a card. I mean, if you get that card, you're swooning, right? I mean, he's the one.
You know, as someone who's like dated and has a girlfriend, like,
Yes.
imagine dating someone for 2 months and never sleeping over once. Is that weird to you?
Yes. Yes.
Like, we have a 4-hour limit.
I would.
Like, we can hang out for 4 hours and then it reaches this point where it's like,
He's just ready to go, or
I'm
you are?
ready to go.
both.
He wants me to go. I'm super empathetic, so I can like read the shit out of a situation where I'm like, I'm gonna go.
Yes. Yeah. And like 4 hours is the mark. That's like, okay. Yeah.
We
I'd say
went to the Grove. Is that not a boyfriend? The Grove in the day.
If you are willing to go to the Grove with somebody, you are invested.
The same guy who said that he didn't want to kiss me, he just wanted to fuck me. It's very
He's giving you mixed signals.
it's very confusing. It's sad to date the wrong person and know like I could have married him. Technically.
Yes.
Had a job, hot, sexual chemistry, but we just didn't have
Like just
the rapport.
yeah, which that's a big part of it, right?
Right?
You would think.
You really learn shit about yourself when you get older. You're like, damn, I never thought that would matter.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. For the longest time, it was just hot, job, good sex.
I love how you think that. You should see the monsters I have dated.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Like-
mean just you in general, but
Right. But the things I was looking for before was just them liking me.
oh, sure.
That's like
Well,
all
that's
it
good.
was. No, it's not good.
No?
Because then you're like a month and a half in and you're like, wait, I don't like you. And I
Oh,
never
I
even
see.
took my feelings into consideration.
Right. No, I totally get what you're saying. I did that a lot. Only I would go after people who told me they didn't like me, but I liked them, and then I just be like, you will eventually.
That's what
And
happened
then-
with the breakup. Because I was very upfront and I was like, no, I think that we have like a really good sexual thing. Like, I really don't want a boyfriend or I really don't want to date. I rewatched 500 Days of Summer because it was the 10-year anniversary. Did you rewatch it recently?
I haven't, but I've seen it multiple times. Yeah.
Watching it 10 years later and realizing I think I made my personality at 19 around summer.
Oh, God.
Right? It was such a formative time.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to watch it again because she's like, I don't want a boyfriend. I don't want a boyfriend. And then they break up and she gets married.
Right.
Because I do feel like it's kind of like that where you're like, I don't want a boyfriend, but you mean I just don't want you to be my boyfriend.
Right. Exactly. See, I modeled my personality after Garden State.
Yes.
Which was very dangerous because I just became this weird angsty guy who
Like-
I thought women would just be drawn to, and they were not.
Really?
No.
I've definitely gone for the weird angsty.
See?
I've gone for like, you should, I'm telling you, like guys who'd been to jail, drug addicts, bald. Just like,
Which is equal to drug
Yeah,
addicts
drug-
and jails. Bald. Ugh.
all of it's just all the things. I really learned. My friends will be like, you could say a lot about me, but you cannot call me superficial.
Yeah.
Because I think people would expect me to be, because I spend a lot of money to be superficial
Okay.
myself.
Yeah, sure.
But otherwise, Like, my worst breakup was a guy who I don't think is hot, who had like a broken nose, who had no money, and I still am sad about it.
Yeah.
Because we had like the best.
Yeah, rapport.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, have you ever ended a relationship while having sex before Thursday?
No. I think that was the first breakup sex. And the worst part is like breakup sex technically is like, let's break up, but like, let's have sex one more time.
Well, they're two separate things in my head.
Right. No,
generally.
It's like, it's an event.
Yes.
Post breakup where you're like, this is our last. No. Like the sex ended. It didn't finish at all. Very incomplete. And like the pizza had arrived. Like he ordered pizza. So it was this kind of time sensitive thing.
Did he order the pizza also while having sex? Was he both? Okay. All right.
It was like, let's order pizza. Now we're going to have sex. Because it's like we had this good thing going.
Right.
Like,
it was a great night.
Smoke weed, watch stuff, bang. And then
so what were the step-by-step? How did this happen? Did he just say,
he was
as
inside
thrusting?
me. Inside me.
And what did he
like,
say?
you really don't see a future with us.
God. And what was your reaction?
I was like, can we talk about this later?
Any other time? And he just like kept going?
Then everything stopped.
Oh, it just stopped
so
right
we can
there.
talk. And it was like, I peed. If you want to know all the step by step, I peed. I came back. And then I was like, oh no, the conversation is going to happen right now.
Right. Was there a little hope that like the pee break would just kind of be a reset, get back into it? Yeah.
Also, because I was pretty upfront about it. He would text me things like, miss you. And I'd be like, thank you. Like, trying to be funny and like a fuckboy in essence. Like
Sure.
I was trying to make it very clear that I was trying to be a fuckboy.
Mm-hmm. Just didn't get it. Huh.
Well, I think he got it and then was like, I unsubscribe.
Right. Yeah.
Which is fair and I respect it.
But timing.
It sucks when you actually like respect the person. It's a lot easier
Right.
if you don't give a fuck.
Right.
Like the other guy, the one who wants to kill me. I don't care about him at all.
Sure. No.
Also,
So-
the other one's 37. The one who wants to kill me. And it's kind of like, grow up.
What was the context of the kill you line? Did he think it was being sweet?
It's like funny. Like we have good rapport,
Sure.
ironically, which is like the one thing that was missing from like the good guy who liked me is that this asshole says these things that are funny and sarcastic. Like he put his wallet out on the table and I like checked it out to like see the branch and he's like, you fucking cunt. And to me, that's like fun.
Sure.
But it also, is him saying things like, one day I'm going to kill you. In a funny way. If I thought he was actually going to kill me, it wouldn't be funny and it wouldn't be okay.
Sure. No, I understand. Yeah. I mean, it's, there's context, but it's still funny.
Yeah.
And
So that was last night. So I'm telling you, Thursday and Sunday are these two events. I'm talking, and now it's Monday.
okay.
But last
New
night
week?
I was back at my apartment by 11 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Just,
That's kind of crazy.
yeah.
I was telling my friend in the car, I was like, even if you're some drunk girl with a fuck boy, you sleep over.
Right. Yeah. And here you were.
Like I don't even have that.
No. You just have.
We show up, but the thing is, he like treats me like a princess in the way he'll like order me a car
Oh.
to pick me up and like take me out to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
But then we'll be at dinner like, I wish you were dead. It is a thing I talk to my therapist about because I feel like the next
Yes.
thing would be like, you need a therapist, but I
Yes.
do talk to my therapist
Sure.
about it.
Yes.
And it's the people that are bad that are like the more fun,
Mm-hmm.
sexy.
Sure. Yeah. Why is that? Why does it have
Because
to be
it
that way?
feels good to be bad.
There it is. There it is.
I know this because I paid a woman to tell me this. I didn't just come up with this. I'd like to be very clear.
This is not your groundbreaking.
I was like, I don't know why the guys from my past who I still think about or talk to are the bad ones.
Mm-hmm.
Who are like, I don't like you. And you're like, just like we were saying, like, not
Right.
yet.
Yeah. 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 Is it the challenge?
And now it's
of
like
it?
10 years later. And I'm like, one day.
What do you think now? Hmm?
They do come back around, though, the bad guys. And they're
Yeah.
still bad. Oh, I'd say like most guys from my past, like,
Resurface.
I also feel like a breakup always has like two parts.
Okay.
Where it's like the initial breakup and
Right.
then the like residual later breakup where they're like either mad at you
Sure.
or try to see you again.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've talked a lot. I should.
No,
chill.
you are the guest.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm asking questions.
Okay.
You're doing great.
I feel like I should ask you questions back. I
You
feel
don't
like a
have
bad. How long have you had your girlfriend?
4 years.
That's such a long time.
Yes, it's by far the longest relationship of my life. Like 4 times longer than anything else I've had. And
Yeah.
we met. We met at a summer camp. We were both employees. She was not a student.
Yeah.
I was. It's a teen like arts camp, so I teach kids how to make movies, and I've done it every summer since. But yeah, she was working in like. She was like working within the staff office and stuff, and I was actually teaching the kids. And we just had like 5 weeks
dream.
to like get
That's
to
a
know each
dream.
other.
That's
It
the
was
best.
heaven.
That's the greatest story.
It was
Every
heaven.
single event I do like that, that's my dream outcome.
Yes, exactly.
Even going to camp, I was like, this
I
is
want to
the
go.
year. Nope.
Well, it was great because it was forced interaction. You know, like we saw each other every day and then got to know each other.
And a base friendship.
Exactly. Yes.
Which I think is part of college relationships.
Yes.
Like how I was able to have boyfriends in college
Yes.
is like you trick them because they're your friend first.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Now that's gone.
So now
and
you
now
have
dating
a-
out here, and you know.
God, I've done
Yes.
so much. I haven't had a real boyfriend with a label in 3 years.
Does that bother you?
No,
Okay.
but it's just interesting. That's
Yeah.
why I think if the guy who was trying to like define the relationship, that's
Right.
why I had to end it, because the only answers were like, you're my boyfriend and then we're going to get engaged. Because that's what was going to happen. And I even told him, I was like, it wouldn't even be horrible, but I wouldn't be being honest with myself. And it's tough, like with our careers, like, I don't know. I'm trying to be like a famous person. Like, I don't know what the path is.
Right. Yeah. Well, because there's no clear path.
There's
to
no
it.
clear path, so it's kind of scary to like have something like a marriage or like a relationship that's so solid when you're like questioning that.
Right. Yeah. So, are you just? Where are you at then? Are you
Well,
putting? Are you
Today's
kind of?
an interesting day to ask because
Yes.
I feel like after the two guys that have been for 2 months, and the greatest part is like I don't have to worry about them listening to this. I feel
Sure.
like
Yeah.
they're not that into me. Like that's
Yeah.
the problem with the other guy. He'd be like, "So what like jokes did you do?" And then we'd get distracted, and I never told him.
Right. Yeah. Because he didn't.
Because he didn't
Care.
actually care.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
So yeah, if he couldn't care enough to
I
listen
know.
to a joke, I doubt he's going to watch or listen to this.
right. So right now I'm going to New York Wednesday. Today's Monday.
Yeah.
I'm going Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
I used to have New York exes, but
Mhm.
now I don't really, or
Mhm.
like they have girlfriends and I don't
Right.
deal with that.
Yeah.
So I'm curious because I feel like a trip like that kind of resets.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is about the second guy, I bet nothing will change. I bet I'll see him once a week until like someone gets over it.
Or he kills you. Yeah.
Or he murders me. It's so sick. It's
Yeah.
like a real thing that like as a woman I worry about legitimately.
Yeah, I mean, I'm laughing about it, but yeah, I mean, it's a weird thing to say, and it does, even if it's a joke, you're still just
Yeah.
like, okay.
I know.
don't know.
So weird. And he also only DMs me. Like I have his phone number because I just got mad one day and was like, I need your actual phone number.
Yeah. What are we doing here? Come on.
Ugh. So where I stand right now, definitely single, technically single. Going to New York. I don't know why I'm acting like going to New York is like for 2.5 years. I'll be there for 5 days.
5 days. All right. It's going to be a pilgrimage.
But of course, I hope to find my husband in these 5 days.
Sure.
Start a long distance. Sure, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, this is my theory. No one's my boyfriend, but the second it's over, they
Yeah.
become my ex-boyfriend,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where you like see them and you're like, that's my ex, even though I never was like, this is my boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
So I've had some bad situations. I had a guy break up with me. We did a semester abroad. So this was in college.
Okay.
And he broke up with me. And then we kept hooking up secretly because it was so sexy, right?
Right. Yeah.
No,
Mhm.
it's because
No.
he doesn't want people to know we're still hooking up.
Right.
So mean. And then, so we went on this weekend to Italy, like with a group. And I was allergic. I've been allergic to 2 guys in my life. Physically allergic. I broke out in full body hives, like chin to feet. It looked like cellulite almost because it like raised
Yeah.
in blotches
Uh-huh.
all over my whole body. And we were like staying in a hotel together with like a group, but probably sleeping in the same bed. I don't know. And my friend had to put like calamine lotion all over. It was so embarrassing and horrible.
Yes.
And like the last time I hooked up with him was maybe 2 years ago. Like I'm saying it didn't even just end there.
Right.
Like we broke up so many times. He broke up with me on Facebook Messenger once. And this was like before iPhones. Like I didn't get the notification.
Right.
Like you had to be on a computer.
Oh, no.
So I was out and his friend was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" Like, "'Cause he broke up with you." Like I didn't even know.
Oh, my God.
So I don't know if that's embarrassing. I feel like nothing's embarrassing to me at this point. Like, yeah,
Sure.
like I told you, I like shit my pants at my friend's birthday, but I was. But for me, it's not even embarrassing. Like, what's embarrassing? Like, I think if I shit during sex, that would be very embarrassing.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
that didn't happen. Like,
No.
I sharted my pants at my friend's 16th birthday, and I was 16. And all
Okay.
I did was, like, go home. Because I had my license. Because I was 16. Damn. You got some good tidbits to use here, huh?
Oh, yeah. These sound bites are
Tag
fantastic.
me in this. So, yeah, shit myself at my friend's 16th. Fingered an ass, hit shit. Which, honestly, this is what I'm saying. Things should be funny if you have, like, a good situation or relationship.
Sure.
If I finger your ass because you want me to, I
Right.
didn't just do it, okay?
Sure.
If you want me to do it and I hit shit, we should be able to laugh about it and be funny.
Right.
I can't be laughing and you being like, don't tell anyone.
Right. No, yeah, then it gets weird.
Well, that's how it went.
Oh, wait, did? Don't tell anyone.
tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone there's shit my ass.
Swear, never tell anyone. So, you know, I always keep my promises.
I hope this is the first time that you've shared it, and it's right here.
Sure is.
Right now. No.
I mean, honestly, once you break up, does anything
no.
apply anymore?
Oh, no. The statute
Like,
of limitations
right?
totally over. Yeah.
If someone-
Everything's out.
It's a funny thing.
Yeah,
Why can't
it
it
is.
be funny?
Well, because it's like, that makes sense.
Like, if I shit during sex, I would hope that it was someone that I was like, that's why, okay, the second guy I was dating was like always pitching anal to me.
Mhm.
And I was like, no, I would do it. I would consider doing it
Mhm.
if you were like someone that
You
I could handle any outcome.
Right.
Right?
Yes. Yes. Because if that were to happen,
And
with
like some
him,
kind of
it-
fun, trust, whatever,
Right.
where if I shit myself, I'd be like, that's funny.
Yeah.
God, what a weird. I didn't mean to only talk to you about like sex and shitting. It's not cute. Whatever.
Whatever.
I've had 3 colonoscopies, so I feel very. Yeah, I had like serious anxiety, IBS issues.
So I've had probably 15 colonoscopies.
15 is a lot.
At least. Because I had my large intestine removed because I had colon cancer.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, it was a
That's
preventative
why-
surgery.
That's why I had to get all the colonoscopies was
Yeah.
to make sure I didn't.
Right. And you're all good?
Yeah. But
Fantastic.
I have to just go now in 5 years.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
that's a long, because before it
Yeah.
was like, come back in 1 year.
Yep. Yeah, I have to go every year. So, it's fun.
It's the day before. It's the worst day of your life.
Right. When you have to
You have
drink
to
all
like
the stuff
cleanse
and-
everything.
yeah.
It's like a double ender situation because
Mhm.
I was like, you're like peeing out your ass, and I was throwing up too because I couldn't keep all that Gatorade powder.
Right. Yeah. It's gross. It's terrible. The one benefit to not having a colon, or only 10% of it, is that my prep is pretty easy. Now, I do have to give
Oh.
myself enemas, which is just not fun.
Shove it up your
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah. Doing it yourself is, it's just,
different.
it's a different experience.
Yeah.
You got to lube the tip, and then it's, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Do all your guests talk about these things?
it varies
Yeah.
from topic to topic.
Mostly butt stuff.
Yeah. We
We're
butt
leaning
stuff.
there.
Yeah.
I was procrastinating. I feel like I Instagram storied about it. I didn't show my ass. But
Okay.
I was procrastinating, like editing a pilot, like doing a edit.
Mhm.
Because like my managers were like, do these things, send it back to us. And
Yeah.
I was procrastinating so hard that I tried a butt plug for the first time, just alone in my apartment in the day, and was like,
That is some
it's
hardcore
like, you really
procrastination.
get creative when you're procrastinating. You're
Yeah.
like, well, it's time to try this for the
Sure.
first time. And I just like lubed it, shoved it up my ass, and was like, okay, I guess I
Yeah.
better edit this thing now.
I've
and-
literally run out of ways.
Right. And with
to-
these nails, it's not easy to get
I
it
wouldn't
back
think so. Those are
out.
epic. Yeah.
You have to like relax your ass. So
What was the process of getting it out?
just relaxing your ass mostly. There's always that moment every time I like shove something up me where it's like, because I have a Kegel ball that you can just shove up you and like walk around for 3 hours and your body just,
Wow.
the muscles just work. And
Amazing.
I love any exercise like that.
Sure.
But there's always the fear of like, I'm not going to be able to get this out.
Right.
I'm going to have to go to the hospital. It's like any story like sex sent me to the ER, except
Right.
I would be alone.
Yeah. And it would be 3 in the
And
afternoon.
it'd be like 3 p.m. and I'll be like, I really got to edit this thing.
I don't know why. I do get embarrassed if anybody walked in on me, and they have like taken a shit. It is. I would rather somebody walk in on me masturbating. I think. If I was dating
Why
them.
is someone do you not have a lock or you don't lock it?
Oh, I do. I'm just thinking of hypotheticals. Well, like sometimes, so like this camp that I teach at, I thought I had locked the bathroom door. I had not. And so, taking a shit, and a student walked in. And it's just the most embarrassing thing. And I don't know why. Is it just like the vulnerability of just sitting? Like,
yeah. I think it's you're vulnerable, and then no one wants to see anyone's shit
No.
for their whole lives.
No, definitely.
Like, I know one day I'm going to be in labor, and I'm going to be, like, giving birth, and I know for sure I will shit. I know it.
You're ready for it?
I'm ready for it. I've been preparing my whole life. But it's like, even then, I don't want,
Yeah.
like, my baby daddy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants... It's like the same feeling as getting walked in on naked.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, you are vulnerable. It's...
But somehow that one, I guess I'm just comfortable enough.
Also.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah, the kid also.
There's
yeah.
that...
Thankfully, I mean, they decided not to address it, of course. I don't know why they would. I don't know why I said thankfully. Like, there was a high probability they were going to say, hey, sorry about that. But that's one of those things you just go separate ways and then never address it, And thankfully that was the case. But I was all I was like, man, are they going to, like... I mean, thankfully I wasn't wearing a onesie, so I wasn't completely naked. But it's just a traumatizing thing. I felt bad for her. It was a her because
No.
That's the world we live in with these gender-neutral bathrooms.
Oh, no.
Is that a poor child has to walk in on me?
No.
Sitting there.
I feel embarrassed now.
Yeah, it was awful. It was terrible. And we were they were editing their movies. And so she was in the lab, and I was overseeing that. So then I walked into the lab. I waited like 5 minutes to try and reset things.
No.
I knew she had a question, and there's usually two of us in the lab, two staff members. The other person was gone, so I could see it all. Like, I really need help with this, but I don't want to ask the shit man. I just the other guy finally came back in, but we were just both like just avoiding eye contact. It was terrible. We're off the rails here.
Yeah, it's gotten shitty.
We could get back to the theme of breakups.
Okay,
if that is
breakups.
More comfortable.
I mean, I truly feel like even after a second date, if I know there's not a future, it still feels like a breakup. Where I have like anxiety to go on a first date when I feel like I'm going to have to end it or they're going to end it. There's so much rejection.
Yes, there is. And then it becomes a race of like who's going to reject who first.
So that's why I'm waiting for this guy to just stop. I honestly think it's going to be a ghost situation, which I'm fine with in this. But I've had to text guys like this really good, strong, I know we would be better as friends text.
Yeah.
And then they never try to be your friend.
Right.
But it still is stressful. And it's stressful to even send that text or for them to be like, do you want to go to this? And you being like, no.
Mm-hmm. I don't want
to hang out with you
again. What breakup has had the most emotional pain?
I mean, I feel like I've talked about this a lot. It's the guy that I really liked. It was the one guy that I really liked 2 years ago who had the broken nose and we just had a good time.
Yeah.
Like this is my thing. I just want to have fun with you at Target or in the car or the places that aren't fun.
It doesn't need to be a big spectacle every time you go out.
But also, even if you just go to a bar and get drinks, you can have fun with someone you don't like because you're drinking in the dark in a bar.
Right. Yeah.
So once you put it on its legs, then you really see. So I really enjoyed him in the day.
Yeah.
And whatever. So, I mean, I was gonna be like, let's pump the brakes. Like I prepared this whole speech with my therapist, like this whole like, let's pump the brakes. I really like you, but we need to slow down because it was like seeing each other like 4 or 5 times a week. Mm-hmm. And he had my garage clicker, so he could park in my apartment.
So why did you want to pump the brakes then? If
it just felt, I could feel something was off, and then like, I remember I like day drank and like went to a party and I knew he wasn't that good at drinking or partying, and I knew he didn't like that about me. And then we like drank this weed soda together. Like we met up after the party and I tried to be sober and I wasn't. And then we drank this weed soda and I died. I was like, don't touch me, like freaked out.
Yeah.
And then we were supposed to hang out and then he's like, can we talk actually? And I knew it was over.
There's no other context for Can We Talk?
I knew it was over, and I had this like I cut bangs, I got a thigh tattoo.
Oh boy.
I
Okay.
like lost my shit.
Yeah.
And then I now know that he definitely started dating someone because their 1 year anniversary was like 4 days after our,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, which is fine. And I'm sure they're like perfect together, truly,
Yeah.
like improv-y people.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that that's like not what I am, but that's kind of what I'm looking for again, is just someone I actually, yeah. So that was a bad breakup because I just took it really badly and really personally, even though I was going to end it.
Yeah, well, that was my question.
Yeah,
Why did
I
it
know.
hurt so hard if you were planning on
It was
ending
just
it
like
anyway?
added insult to
Is it
injury
just the
because it's like, it
rejection?
sucks to end a relationship that was
Yeah.
like really fun and cool. And then for him to do it,
Right.
especially because I was like, like I am hotter than him. I can say it like technically
Sure.
am.
Yeah. on every level.
And now he gets to have the satisfaction that I haven't shut the fuck up about it in 2 years. If I dated me and 2 years ago broke up after a month and a half, it was 6 weeks. Okay? I would be like, this weirdo is obsessed with me. And I'm sure that I have dated guys who have felt that way about me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
calm down. It was 6 weeks and I'm still like hung up. But yeah, so that was a weird breakup. Ugh. I've had there have been so many. Or even like this one guy just texted to end it, even though it was another 6 week. I had this habit of 6 week relationships.
Okay.
Very weird.
Yeah. So yeah, because 6 weeks, you're still very much in the honeymoon phase. You would think, unless it just wasn't meant. Like
Yeah.
I feel like it's funny. I mean, I guess because I hear a lot of like 2 months. You were close. You didn't quite make it.
No.
No, 6 weeks.
I
done.
haven't dated someone for 2 months in a row in years.
Okay. Great.
But I think it's also because I know like the further in you go, the harder it is to break up.
Right.
And then I have the complex where I don't want them to hate me
Mm.
or I don't want to be the bad guy. And I have to like let that go.
Right. Yes. Yes. But to as far as what you were saying about the the guy who thinks you're still obsessed with him or whatever,
Well-
I can relate, and maybe you are. I don't know.
For sure.
I can relate because there was somebody, and anybody who's listened or watched this is probably sick of hearing about it. But there was the person who the biggest example of I'm not really into you. But you will be soon enough. I talk about her fairly often on here just because it was truly the worst time of my life. But if she ever listens, she'd be like, dude, we never even had sex. Like, this was just 2 months of intense, emotional, like, just let it go.
I don't understand 2 months of intense emotional without a sex.
Yeah. It just
Do
wasn't.
like
we-
above the waist
No.
only?
No. Like, making out a couple of times. She wasn't into me.
Right,
it's really
right,
what it comes down
right,
to.
right.
I tried to have sex with her. And then she was just like,
How many girlfriends have you had?
like 5.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And then just a bunch of random one-night stands and stuff.
A bunch of random one night stands.
Like 15, probably. I don't know.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and most of them weren't great. And then that's why I was just like, you know what? I don't
That's-
need to have sex. I just
15
want to
one night
focus
stands
on...
is kind of impressive
I guess.
because that means
Yeah.
that you didn't want to see them again.
Or vice versa. There were definitely some where I was
That
like,
you were, like,
I woke
hitting
up
up
the next day
again?
like, hey, like, want to go to the beach? And then they'd be like, ah!
Oh my God. I mean, I
yeah.
know you have a girlfriend now, but any
Yes.
guy listening,
Yeah, don't
if
do
it's
that.
the morning after and you're like, do you want to go to the beach? The beach? Like a vacation
There was
together?
context to it, but it was still the
My
the
answer is
wrong...
absolutely no.
No, exactly.
The beach, I'll go with you maybe on our 6 months of dating.
Yo,
I used to get
would not
towels
defend it.
out and
Yeah.
like water bottles.
I was desperately looking for companionship, and I would just latch on, and then and then I'd be like, well, I don't know what the big deal is. It took me a while to figure shit out.
I
So-
feel like I still very much am.
Mm-hmm. Figuring it out.
Yeah, but at
Yeah.
least the guys recently haven't been as horrible. I did have a guy this year in February, like he did the sex things that were like crossing every line, like slap me across the face without asking.
Oh.
Like asked me if he could spit in my mouth, but it was all happened so fast that I was like, yeah, and like spit was in my mouth. Like
Yeah.
it was
Oh, okay.
So that was this year, but otherwise no one's been bad.
Okay, that's good.
So it feels like growth.
Yes, that is growth.
Because in December, it was kind of like this culmination of like some of the worst ones. Like this guy who had been to jail 3 times and like had a kid in Florida and like this shit. And I'm like, what am I doing?
What were you doing? Was it just the bad boy
I met him outside of a comedy show, which you should. Okay, kind of a red flag. Kind of, right? Yeah. But I was like, oh my God, he's so like, I thought he was a hipster because he was like tatted up and dressed really hip. But I didn't know there was like a fine line between like gang member.
Sure.
And
a hip gang member. Yeah.
And then I found out he had started his gang. I would always be like, yeah, he started it.
How do you start a
entrepreneurial
gang?
Spirit. You get your gang together.
Like, is there a recruitment?
I'm not really sure because I was mostly like in the car, like, is there a gun in here? I asked him.
Yeah.
He's like, no, not in this car.
What were you in the? Did you witness?
He picked me up. Like we went on a real date.
Okay.
He picked me up. We went to dinner.
Uh-huh.
We made out by the like Venice canals. I mean, we traveled. I don't know why we had to go so far.
Yeah, that's a bit of a hike.
You don't pick me up from Hollywood. And then we went to Mel's Diner in Santa Monica, even though there's one walking distance to me.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So a lot of things weren't making sense.
Sure.
And then he was telling me about the gang and starting the gang and being in jail and grand theft and
now, is
how he would smuggle drugs into jail. And he was like sober now, but he had been addicted to shit.
And how was it? Was he saying all this very casually, like proud?
It was pretty casual. Well, also because he's sober now, so it's very like he's different. So this is the problem. After the date, I was like, you guys, he's different now. He's changed a lot. And they're like, and I would tell my therapist also, I was like, no, but he reads a lot and he meditates. And she's like, he learned that in jail.
But
a woman can put any spin on any guy.
Oh.
Like, I could sell the shit out of this guy who had been to jail. I was like, look how hot he is. He is hot. Like, hot.
Uh-huh.
Well, so was like that mugshot model guy. Do you remember like the hot criminal?
No.
He got a modeling contract from his mugshot.
Oh,
and now
boy.
is with the heiress of the Topshop heiress or something.
Sure.
It can't be Topshop because that's out of, I don't know.
Somewhere.
Okay, pretty much a woman can sell any horrible, shitty guy.
Yeah,
pretty
epic
much
blinders.
Never saw him again. He had me send him one of my pilots and then like critiqued it and never sent me anything he ever wrote because allegedly he had written so much stuff. Never saw him again. But he would say like the N-word and I was like, he was not black. And I was like, you cannot do it.
Did you pick that up in jail maybe?
Yeah. He had a lot of issues.
Sure. Okay.
And his biggest one was not loving me.
All the rest you could forgive.
Yeah, everything else. I mean, honestly, if he had tried to see me again, I would have seen him. That's the problem.
And I don't want to devote the whole thing to just finding a man. So
right. No. I care a lot about writing and performing.
How long have you... So you've been doing stand-up for 4 years, you said?
Yes, I've been... 4 years was June. I just finished... I'm sure you've written a lot of pilots. Mm-hmm. But I just started like a year ago, so I've written 3.
Fantastic.
So I'm very excited about that. I finally have management, which I think is great.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm doing shows in New York. I have shows in LA.
What were you doing before you did stand-up?
I was like a marketing major. I worked at a Ponzi scheme.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's very
Could you elaborate?
Yeah. We were all 23 or yeah.
Okay.
So we were all the same age, and there were these investors or like the people in charge. And it was very sketchy, and we never sold anything, and we'd always be like pitching ideas and apps and like I mean, I was only there for like 7 months. I eventually quit. But like famous people would come in and we'd like pitch things to them. Like I pitched an app to Paul Walker and then he died.
Oh.
So it's not my fault. But
I'm glad.
But it was this crazy thing that like the person in the car with Paul Walker worked in the building that we like worked in.
Okay.
So like I knew him and he brought Paul Walker in, and then like a few months later the crazy crash happened. And it's just so weird.
Yeah. That's bizarre.
It's bizarre. So eventually that like dissolved because it wasn't a real thing.
So you never actually, the company never actually did anything? Were you just consulting like?
No, we had some like a website and they were trying to do an animated movie, and then like we had like Snapchat for video before Snapchat had video.
Uh-huh.
We would like throw these events and I'd like order shirts. Like we were spending money.
Right.
But I don't know if we made money.
Sure. Yeah.
Which is the Ponzi scheme.
I guess so, yeah.
So yeah, that was my job. And then I worked for my parents at the dry cleaners. We own a dry cleaners.
Really? Oh, I saw this on your
Yeah. That's where I'm
Instagram.
going from here. That's why I can be flexible like
Nice.
this. So I work for them for money. I
That's
do
good.
marketing and dry cleaning stuff
So how long has dry cleaning been the family business?
forever.
Yeah.
Like my parents met with my dad working at a dry cleaners.
Wow. Did she come in to get
She
something?
was a customer.
Yeah.
My dad's friend had opened his own dry cleaners. My dad was helping him get started.
Yeah.
And now my family has owned like 5.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now we have just the one.
Oh, now you have one?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like huge.
Where is it?
It's on Ventura and Woodman in Sherman Oaks.
Oh, I've probably driven by it.
Yeah, it's 2 stories. It like lights up at night, very
Yes.
Persian. Yep.
That's
So
awesome.
that's like my job, like for money. And I go to dry cleaning conventions.
What are those like?
They're exactly what you think it would be
I
like.
have no
Just
idea.
Like huge machines and people like on Britney Spears mics, like doing stain removal demonstrations. Yeah, Clean 2015. I went to that in Atlanta. I made
Okay.
out with a guy whose family owned like 12 laundromats in Texas.
Nice.
You know, it's that kind
Uh-huh.
of thing.
Right. Yeah.
There's still that social element.
Of course. Yeah. Well, it's networking.
So
right?
dry cleaning. Yeah. So big into the family business.
Definitely.
So that's my job. But
So how do you probably know more about dry cleaning than most people would?
the cool thing about me is that I don't. I like sit in
All
the
right.
office and like post photos of me on our Instagram. Like
Nice.
people will be like, "How do I get out mustard?" And I'll be like, "Just bring it in." You know, like I don't do the cleaning. I never pitched myself as such.
Sure.
I say
yeah.
dry cleaning heiress. No one thinks like
That's
Paris
right.
Hilton can like check you into the Hilton.
No, that's very true. Yeah. Fair enough.
I've never said that out loud, but now I'm going to.
I think you should. Yeah, I think that's a fair point.
See?
I falsely assumed being in the family business
That I
you
would
would know
have some
something
kind
about
of
the
skill.
business.
Nope.
Yeah, but
There it is.
that's fun though. I mean, it's nice. It must be nice to just have like, I mean, everything that we've talked about, you know, it's that we're all trying to do out here. It's nice to have like that, you know, safety net sounds
Safety net.
condescending, I think.
No, I
but-
mean, well, this is another thing I talk about it. Sometimes I feel like, oh no, I really have to push myself or motivate myself because I have this comfy
yeah.
parent life
Sure.
job.
Yeah,
Like I don't have to like be a bartender or be a server.
right.
And sometimes I feel like that fire like keeps people here because they're like,
That's
I
true.
have to make it here and I have to survive.
Right.
For me, it's like, where am I going to move home to?
Right.
Like
yeah.
Pasadena.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's very clear. I can just do this and I'll work here. And
So I really have to push myself.
so, yeah, I imagine you're battling complacency, you know?
Yes.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like I'm better this year. I feel like there's been some, like I've been doing stand-up for 4 years, but at the beginning I would just do like a show a month or when people ask. And now I really do try to, I say yes to every show.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's good,
performed at like
yeah.
a church. I did my middle school career day. Tough audience.
Really?
Yeah.
Middle school career day.
8th graders do not like me. Because I get it. It's like they don't really get stand-up comedy if it's not like really silly
Sure.
or kind of watered down or clear.
Mhm. Yeah.
And they also have this whole like meme humor.
Right.
It's just different.
yeah.
And like they only liked my Anne Frank joke, and I think it's because they were reading the Diary of Anne Frank.
So it's topical.
So it's topical, but it's like I don't otherwise have a lot of 8th grade specific things.
sure. Which I don't think would be a problem in
Right,
most
right,
cases.
right. Usually
However,
they're not legally allowed into comedy
right.
clubs.
Yeah. It's probably good that that's not your target audience.
Yeah. Well, even
but in
like
that show.
I'm a part of Rotary, which is just like old, rich, white,
Yes.
and Asian people, the one I go to. And my mom's had me perform for them, and they also don't like me. Like I tried to tell a joke about my colonoscopies because like it was the correct audience.
Yeah, they could relate.
And my dad from the front was like, "Don't say that," and I was like, heckler.
He heckled you during
He
the show?
heckled me.
No. Yeah, that's the great setup for a joke.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I guess I shouldn't say this.
Yeah, you're
but
like, great.
I'm
And that's
going
like at
to.
a church at noon. So yeah,
So that you were truly saying yes to everything.
I will say yes to any show.
Because church at noon, Rotary Club, and eighth grade job
I'm trying to
fair.
think of
None of
other
those sound
things.
like ideal stand-up scenarios.
They're not.
Yeah.
Oh, I performed at this place called the University Club where I performed on a table because there was no kind of stage or area.
Sure.
So I just stood on a table. You have to establish dominance.
I hope you didn't even have a microphone. You just had to
Just
shout.
yelling the whole time.
This is funny stuff.
I did. This is fun. Listen. Yes.
What have we learned? What have we learned this hour?
It's a lot of like sex and ass stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
There's more to me than that, but I can't think of anything right now. I guess we did cover dry cleaning, so I really hit all my topics.
Dry cleaning, middle school.
See, my dad doesn't know how to access these things, and I wonder if I would be different if he could. Like, if I had like a white American dad who was like, "What are you doing?" But my dad's like Iranian and doesn't know how to use Instagram or the internet, really.
Yeah.
So I feel very comfortable to say these things. It's like I'd rather any stranger watch this than my dad.
Okay. What is? I guess given what you said, it's unlikely he would watch this because he wouldn't know how.
Exactly.
So that's good.
And my mom will watch these things or knows how, but she'll like protect my dad.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Wait, now is she also Iranian?
No, my mom's like a Jewish white lady from California. They got married when they were like 33. They might have been 32. So that kind of gives me hope because that was like in the 80s when that was kind of late.
Right.
But they're still together.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So.
Was he born in Iran? And then came here?
He came here when he was like 25 or something.
Do you still have family over there? Or have you ever gone? And
I've never gone to Iran.
Okay.
And now I found out some people message me being like, I think I'm not allowed to go. I think I might be like on a list or something. I think just from being me or being a woman who does like entertainment or has talked about Iran or has talked about.
Interesting.
I mean, I was detained in Israel for 3 hours for being Persian.
Really?
Like when I went on Birthright, I was detained and like questioned, and they went through my phone because they saw my like last name was Persian. So yeah, scandalous.
How old were you?
How old? That was like 2 years ago.
Okay, man. Wait, what is Birthright?
Birthright is like if you're Jewish, you can go to Israel for free, but you pay with. Emotionally, you pay.
Sure.
It's like a 10-day trip, and it's very like propaganda-y.
Just like
very like, and then they try to make you move there. It's very weird.
at the end, it's just like, and here's a
They're
timeshare.
like, and these are other Americans who have moved here after Birthright. Or like, I guess the goal is to get you to like bang other Jews, but my group was like, there was no one to bang.
What was that 10 days like?
It was a night. It was so crazy. I actually wrote like this whole like pitch doc about like a like a mini series just about Birthright. It's like you don't sleep at all. They want you to bond, but it's like all these activities like camel ride, Dead Sea, hike, and you're like, this is if I had gone on a hike in a week, that's enough of an activity. And they want you to just go from like they put 50 of us in a tent, like a Bedouin tent one night.
Okay.
I cried until I threw up. It was like dirty mattresses and like you're like side by side with these like weirdos that you met at LAX. Like they first try to make you bond at the airport and you're like horrible.
Did you want to do this trip?
Okay, this is the most Jewish thing that they do. It's like they were like, okay, well, you're turning 26 or whatever age is the cutoff. They're like, this is your last chance. And I was like, ugh, I don't want to go because I know I wouldn't like it, but fine, I'll apply. And then they're like, it's too late now. And then I was like, wait, but you told me I could. And then I fought to go because it's like how Judaism works, where they're like, they offer you this thing that you don't want. And then by the end, you're begging to do it.
Right. Yeah. So then you did
it's like this 10-day. I mean, I did make some friends that I like still see or talk to ish.
Yeah.
But people are like, it was the best trip of my life, changed my life. There's always people like that with these trips. And it's like, if you otherwise have a life, it's not going to like change your life.
Yes.
Which might be the meanest thing I've ever said out loud, actually. But it didn't change my life. I do not want to go back. I mean, I'd love to go to Israel like with a friend I have an Israeli friend. I would have loved to go, but like even socially, they made us get back on the bus at like 11 p.m. after our bar night. And it's very European there, so it's like no one's getting there till midnight or 1.
Yeah. Yeah. Does your dad talk about like his life before he came here a lot, or?
Yeah, I mean, he goes back to Iran.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah, he'll go back, and he has a lot of friends from Iran who live in LA. Very common.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any sort of immigrant mentality that you have as a kid through that? I've heard a lot of people talk about that, like just like a work ethic or, you know, like whatever it is.
It's interesting because I know I'm first generation.
Yeah.
But I'm very white and my mom's white, so I don't know if it really counts. Maybe I'm like half generation.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. It's like I did grow up very American.
Right.
I don't even know Farsi, so it doesn't feel like...
Sure.
I don't feel foreign. I've also never been there.
Right. That makes sense.
I mean, he definitely did move to America, and then the Shah was overthrown in Iran, so he was like super wealthy in Iran as a child, and like grew up with his dad, worked for the Shah. So when that was overthrown, he was at USC, or maybe he was in school in Oklahoma. He went to USC and somewhere in Tulsa, and then he had to like work for the first time when he was like 28.
Oh, wow.
And like had to like really go from like riches to rags and then like build himself up. So I think he has that mentality of like really hustling. But we grew up as like spoiled daughters of a Persian. Like I don't think I was given the same like thought process.
Sure. No, that makes sense.
He also didn't move here. He moved here wealthy. Like he didn't move here like with $12 in his pocket kind of story.
Right. Yeah.
It became that here.
Yeah. Man, that must have been
right.
Nuts to just like lose everything like that.
Right.
Wow.
And he like was like USC, like getting tables at clubs, cars. He had like every Lacoste shirt color.
Yeah.
Like he was those kids at USC that you're like,
yeah, okay, guy.
like the European ones.
Right. Man.
Yeah. See?
That's interesting.
Levels, angles.
I'm glad. There we go.
There we go. We can crop out some of the other stuff.
Yes.
Balance.
Yeah.
I really do believe in balance. Yeah. But I think it's just more interesting. Like, I think sexy stuff's like, I like taboo things. That's why it's interesting.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I created a whole show. It's just about awkward sexual situations.
Yeah.
Like most of them based on real things.
I love
then I just
that.
put it on steroids.
Yeah.
So I love talking about it. It's fun and awkward and goofy and, you know.
Like I once went on a date where we went to like 3 strip clubs.
Oh.
We called it a strip strut. And that's like a guy that like we hooked up whatever, but we're like friends still.
Yeah.
Because it was fun.
Sure.
I think I learned that this year. Like you can still be friends with guys you dated. And I used to not think that.
Right.
But you can actually be like friendly. Like we don't hang out.
Right. But yeah,
but we
there's no
like
animosity.
DM
like,
things.
Yeah. Right.
We also did like a pitch about like a show about strip clubs. Like that we
cool.
like worked on together and like emailed. Like I've emailed him since.
Right. Which is kind of nice.
It's possible to bang someone and then email them later.
It is. And I think that's the dream.
Professionally.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you'd like to email me, first name, last name at gmail.com.
Well, yeah, where can people find you on social media and all that stuff?
At Ariana Basseri is my Instagram.
Awesome.
Great at the stories.
Mm-hmm. Well, fantastic. I hope that your therapy session tomorrow to talk about all of the things that we've already talked about goes well.
This was like a pregame therapy.
Yeah.
Therapy pregame. That's a good name. Maybe I'll start that podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
Therapy pregame.
Yes, I like it.
Thank you. You can be a guest.
Yeah, I've got plenty of fucked up shit to talk about. It'll be great.
I love that.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
That was the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much to Ariana for coming over and being very raw about things that had just happened. So I hope that our episode was a good primer for the therapy session that ensued shortly thereafter. If you enjoyed the episode, again, don't just leave the 5 stars. I want to hear about your worst breakup in the comments on Apple Podcasts or on YouTube. Let me have them. And the worst/best breakup, I will send you a Bad Times Good Stories t-shirt. That's all I've got for now. So until next Wednesday, keep laughing.